Hello, my name is Marcus and welcome to my channel. Last night we went to go see the Fantastic Four, The First Steps, the newest entry into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. When we first heard of this movie, I was a little bit skeptical because even back in the early 2000s when the other Fantastic movies came out, I saw them as good popcorn flicks, but I was never really intertwined in the fandom of the Fantastic Four, so I was very curious to see if the new cast with Pedro Pascal, that's Reed Richards and the others, and Kevin Feige and his team would be able to craft a story that would be able to garner my interest to make me actually become a fan of this franchise or this series or these characters. I've always been a Marvel guy. I've always been a Spider-Man guy, but just the Fantastic Four, I was never really a fan of them per se. I was only a fan due to them just carrying the Marvel name. I can assure you that that officially changes today. First nod, I was very happy that the story takes place 4 years after they actually got their powers. I don't know, just something about seeing origin stories. I just don't feel the need for it anymore, especially for established characters. I also like the fact that they really focused on Reed Richards' intelligence, on him trying to figure out the solutions to the issues that were plaguing the team within the course of the movie. I very much enjoyed that each individual member of the team got their own time to shine, utilizing their intelligence and their powers. Specifically, Johnny Storm. I've always known him to be kind of a meathead, just kind of the hothead of the group. Within this version of him here, we really get to see a more intricate version of him being able to utilize his intelligence to actually help the team, not just shooting fire at stuff. So that was probably one of my favorite aspects of the movie for sure. I also like the aspect of them focusing on Ben has kind of reached a status of mind that he has accepted his gift, more so than calling it a curse, of being the Thing. And he's almost kind of in a way trying to move forward with his life, where, in every origin story of the Fantastic Four, he goes through those first couple of years of kind of just hating life and just doing what needs to be done to get through it. But here we kind of see him trying to move on with his life and accepting his fate of being the Thing. I also really enjoyed the focus that they put on Mr. Fantastic, more so focusing on his genius level intellect more so than his stretching ability. Kind of reminded me of my favorite aspects of the Iron Man movies. Of course, we all love the action, but I also love that intricate figuring out the issue, figuring out the problem with, brain power more so than brawn. I also want to take a second and speaking of brain power, they give Johnny Storm some spotlight as well. This is easily the smartest version of Johnny Storm that I have ever seen. Like I said, I always know him as more of a meathead, but they actually give him some really good intellect, showcasing that he is technically an astronaut. So he does have some intellect as well. And they show him being able to figure out a specific way of outsmarting the Silver Surfer. It was super cool. It was really fun to see, extremely entertaining, honestly. I also love the focus that is put on Sue Storm, probably my personal favorite and kind of the de facto leader of the group. I know in the comic, Reeds is kind of the leader, but I feel like Sue is more so the leader out of this band here specifically. She's definitely the spokesperson. I feel like it was more so her over Reeds giving out directions and commands of the group when they were in a scuffle, which I didn't mind at all. I feel like they more so kind of shared the burden with one another. Definitely the quintessential partnership, more so than any other partnership I've ever seen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Very, very fun to see. Hopping into the action scenes, there's no denying the cinema grace of the Human Torch. Every iteration of this character I've seen on the silver screen has been widely entertaining. This experience is no different. They do a very good job with the CGI just to show him flying through the sky with his flame on ability and him being able to chase the Silver Surfer Surfer and being able to fight the Silver Surfer and the Galactus. It was very, very entertaining to see. Easily one of some of my favorite aspects of the film. Also, some of my favorite aspects is showcasing the true power of Sue Storm. I had no idea that she had that level of power with inside of her. It's almost like she was an Omega level mutant in this picture. Very, very cool to see as well. I hope we see more of that in the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Essentially, it was her power that ended up being the coup de grace to finally take down the Galactus. That was very intriguing to see. I feel like that's going to piss a lot of people off, but for me personally, I really enjoyed it. So, the Silver Surfer, easily the most controversial part of this entire film. Normally, the Silver Surfer is portrayed by Zenla, but this time it is portrayed by Zenla's lover, Sheila Ba. So, hails from the same planet. It's kind of the same story, but you have to assume that instead of Galactus taking Zenla to be the Silver Surfer, he takes Sheila Ba, which very cool, interesting concept. Like I said, all the meatheads are going to be upset. It's supposed to be a guy. Supposed to be a guy. What the hell? No. Y'all know me. I don't give a shit. As long as the story is good, as long as she has good action scenes, as long as she fulfills the role of how the role of the Silver Surfer is supposed to be performed, then I'm a happy boy. And you cannot be upset about Sheila Ba's performance in this picture. She does the role justice. I was very excited about her. Every single scene that she was in, she took command of it, and especially during her scenes talking to Johnny. Very, very cool. It's almost like the love was starting to develop between the two of them, but just performing her duty to, of course, keep her planet safe from Galactus. So I really, really enjoyed that aspect of the film for sure. It's almost like a lot of the Marvel villains are not technically evil. They're just forced into circumstances that forces them to do evil deeds. This is definitely a prime example right here. But she did kind of redeem herself at the end of the picture when it came to dealing the final blow against Galactus. And there was Human Torch that was going to sacrifice himself to help Sue push him into the other dimension, where Sheila Ba ended up taking the sacrifice for the team so that everybody else could survive. Then, of course, everybody was seeming to have an issue with her CGI in the film. Personally, I didn't really see any problems with it. She looked fine to me. She looked like just a big piece of silver or a big piece of platinum, whatever you want to call it. It's fine, man. She looked great. I enjoyed the musical aspects that came along whenever she was on screen as well, man. Just altogether, just a solid performance. It really was. Let's talk about Galactus here. So, Galactus was super cool, super just imposing. What's funny is me and my wife noticed this when the Fantastic Four first goes to meet Galactus on his planet or in his ship or whatever. He looked way bigger on his ship than he did when he got to Earth. Did anybody else notice that? It could not have been just me. I feel like the grand fullness of his entire scope seemed a lot bigger when he was on the ship, and then he seemed to get smaller when he got to Earth. Other than that, though, easily one of my favorite MCU villains in the past few years here for sure. I definitely wouldn't say he's my favorite of all time. We're definitely far from that. Because I feel like, it's believable that the Fantastic Four can beat Galactus by themselves, kind of. I didn't realize that Susan had that much power inside of her. That's kind of insane that she could push a planet-destroying entity. I guess I can take that with a grain of salt. And then her and the Silver Surfer being able to push him into the portal to knock him into the other dimension. Cool. That was a fantastic way to end the battle for sure. So why did Galactus even want to devour Earth in the first place? Well, he came to the notice of Franklin Richards, the baby of Sue Storm and Reed Richards. If you know any part of the Marvel universe, you know that Franklin Richards is easily one of the most powerful beings in the entire Marvel comic verse. He's up there with the lover of the Celestials. Basically a guy like being. He can virtually manipulate reality just like it's nothing. He has psychic abilities as well. He can just formulate matter and rearrange it to whatever his liking chooses. It's actually quite scary, quite creepy, and overpowered like crazy. Yes, boys and girls, he probably beats Goku. I don't think Goku could be the being who can manipulate reality. I mean, I like to see him try, but listen, even as a Dragon Ball fan, I don't think Goku's doing much with that kind of power, bro. So, the people are mad at the Fantastic Four because they won't sacrifice their baby to Galactus to save Earth. Of course, Sue Storm is not going to sacrifice the child that she just had. So I really like the scene of her coming out to the people and explaining, we're not going to abandon our baby, but in that same breath, we're not going to abandon the Earth either. We will do everything within our power to protect everyone. Kind of like that aspect of the script as well, that the Fantastic Four are the superheroes known around the world. Like, it's not a secret. They're not hiding their identity to anybody. They're world-renowned scientists and superheroes all at once. So I definitely appreciated the non-secret identity aspect of their characters as well. So, but if we're superheroes saving the world, like, you got to pay us. So I kind of like that. I think that would be the route that I would choose if I would ever to acquire powers like this. It's super cool. I also like the scene with Reed Richards was fighting Galactus and he stretched him as far as he could go, trying to pull him apart. That was a really kind of a terrifying, cool, funny scene to see all in one. Definitely the butt cheeks was a little bit tight. Appreciate the screen directors for throwing that little nod in there. Ultimately, though, if there's anything I want to talk about, music is phenomenal as always. It kind of gave you that mythical kind of 1950s, 1960s kind of classical theme that a lot of the old school TV shows had. Kind of like WandaVision, you new folks out there. So, I really enjoyed it, man. I really did. If anybody was wondering if Pedro Pascal would be able to perform the role of Reed Richards and take over the leadership of the most prominent group in Marvel Universe history, the answer is a resounding yes. I was very pleased with his performance as Reed Richards. He was definitely able to organize the group. He was able to showcase an actor-y level of genius that would make Robert Downey Jr. proud, and I was just overall happy with his performance. I've always been a big Pedro Pascal fan. He's had a few stinkers, but the vast majority of his work puts a smile on my face. That's all there is to it. Same thing with Vanessa Kirby. A lot of people were wondering if she would be able to overtake the hotness of Jessica Alba in her role as Sue Storm. I will absolutely say that I prefer her, not her looks. It's hard to beat Jessica Alba in her looks, but when it comes to overall performance of the character and screenplay and script writing, this version of Sue Storm is definitely my favorite by far, for sure. I was very satisfied with her performance as well. Like I said, hope to see way more of her. I can't wait. Spoiler time. So our spoiler scene takes place 4 years later after the Fantastic Four beats Galactus and the Silver Surfer. We have Franklin and Sue's just sitting down, just reading a book, and out of nowhere, out of the blue, Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom appears on screen for the first time in Marvel Cinematic Universe history. I'm so excited. Technically, we don't see Robert's face there, but we see the hood, and we see his mask is off, and just Franklin's playing with the mask. It's almost like Dr. Doom has already noticed Franklin's power as a damn near godlike celestial. He's already inspecting ways, most likely to kidnap him, probably to take him under his own tutelage. I cannot wait to see it. Looks like there's going to be a major role play in Avengers Doomsday, if I had to take an educated guess. I cannot wait to see Robert Downey Jr. really play this role, play an evil role such as Victor Von Doom. Such exciting to see, man. I cannot wait. Before we wrap up here, let me not forget to mention Herbie as well. I swear it was a couple of times during the movie where when shit was hitting the fan, he was speaking in his computerized voice and he said, what? And I've definitely translated that as, what the fuck? Just saying, I'm right. I'm right, man. I just had to throw that out there. So if it's no secret, I absolutely enjoyed this movie. I am absolutely a fan of the Fantastic Four. And I feel like this is definitely, if you were feeling like the Marvel Cinematic Universe was not back to form, I feel like this movie definitely brought us back to the magic of like the Infinity Saga, that Spider-Man No Way Home, Wakanda Forever for me personally. It was just good. It was just a good story-driven adventure that utilized all of its characters properly, had great music, had great sound bites, had great action, had great relationships. That's all you can ask for in a superhero movie, truly. I cannot wait to see them make their return in Avengers Doomsday, man. That's so exciting. I am happy. I need to track these action figures down. We're definitely going to be doing a review of all of the characters here. I cannot wait to get them and add them to my collection for sure. And with that, that should about wrap us up, man. So y'all know what to do now. If y'all have comments, thoughts, concerns, anything about this review, feel free to comment in the comment section below. I'd really appreciate that. If you enjoyed my take, or if you did not enjoy my take, go ahead and hit that like button anyways, man. I'd really appreciate that. That helps push it out in the algorithm. That helps get more eyes on it so more people can see the channel. If you want to see more content just like this, I do review every Marvel Cinematic Universe and every DC movie that hits the airwaves, and we usually do all of the blockbusters as well. That we review them right here on Marjack79. So if you are a movie buff like I am, make sure you get subscribed so that you don't miss out. You can follow me at youtube.com/Marjack79. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, thank you, my friends, for watching, and I will see y'all on the next one. My boy from Cobra Kai made it into the movie as Mole Man. Shout out to him, dog. Shout out to him. Cobra Kai never dies. Strike hard, strike fast. That's right. All right, I'll see y'all later. Bye.